This question is actually for both of you, but I'll go ahead and let Ms. Martinez answer first. So, Ms. Martinez, if elected, what will be your first order of business?
My first order of business would definitely be to start increasing the attendance at games. This includes not just our biggest athletic sport, which would be football, which definitely that should be our priority, but I also think that we should increase the attendance at other games as well. I think definitely we as a university should be a huge support system for each other and encourage those other athletics and other organizations to go to those other games and support each other. I also think that safety is a huge issue on campus as far as, for example, the Bobcat Bobbies are not out as often as we would like them to be. So I think definitely, and also with the increase in crimes that have been taking place on campus, I think that we should definitely do everything that we can to increase that safety and make people feel more comfortable with walking around on campus, especially for our freshmen that are coming in. It's a huge thing that we advertise as Bobcat Bobbies, so I think that it's important to put them to use and really make those freshmen, and not just freshmen, those students that are out studying late feel comfortable with being there. I would also like to increase the pride and just overall support of other organizations, not necessarily just games. I think that with as many students that we have and as many organizations that we have, we should definitely encourage the students to be involved with something somewhere on campus, because there are a large amount of organizations that are here at Texas State, and I definitely think that everybody should be involved with something, because that would increase our pride as Texas State students and the motivation to support each other.
Thank you. Ms. Pavlicek, if elected, what will be your first order of business?
If elected, my first order of business is going to be safety. I think safety is one of the most important issues on our campus. All the students should feel safe. This coming fall, Campus Carry will be the first time ever at the university, and some students aren't aware of what Campus Carry is. So I think it is very important to keep them educated on it. But as elected, I would like to work with administration to create a program where you register everyone who has a CHL. This isn't an approval process. It's just a way for us to track everyone who has a CHL and to also differentiate between those who are carrying responsibly and legally and those who aren't. I would also like to add a place on the Texas State application where the students can directly text UPD if they see suspicious activity, because I know sometimes it's hard for the students to reach out to the UPD, but if it's a common way of getting to them, such as texting, I think they'll feel more comfortable doing so. I would also like to increase the number of UPD on campus, especially with the new changes coming up this semester. I know students are feeling uncomfortable, and having more UPD around will make them feel at ease.
Thank you. This question is for Ms. Martinez. In your Q&A with the University Star, you said that along with student involvement, the biggest issue that student body faces would definitely be the attendance at games and the awareness of when games are occurring. In light of major changes coming to Texas State next fall, such as Campus Carry and the possibility of increasing fees and tuition, why do you feel attendance at sporting events is the biggest issue?
Well, definitely that shows our representation as a university, and in constantly competing with other universities to make us the rising star of Texas, I think that attendance shows a lot, especially for those basketball games, football games, anything that is aired on ESPN. That is what people that don't go to Texas State see as far as our attendance. That kind of gives them an idea of what our students are like, and seeing that there's not a big attendance and seeing empty stands does not look good on the university, and it shows for poor pride. So I think definitely going back to like that increase in supporting each other is a huge crucial thing for us as a school, because that also motivates you to want to get involved and to be a better student and to stay more focused. So I think definitely we could increase that by, for example, one of the things that we have in mind is creating a podcast similar to like announcements, or kind of just to give students a rundown of what's happening on campus. Many of the times we do have emails that are constantly sent out about games and many of the functions and events that are happening on campus, but a lot of the time those people don't read those emails.
Thank you. Holly, would you like to have a rebuttal?
Yes, first I would like to ask Ms. Martinez if she has a plan of how she is going to increase attendance at the games.
Okay. Ms. Martinez?
Okay, well, kind of like I just said, definitely the podcast would be very helpful with informing those students. A lot of people would prefer just to listen to something on the bus versus reading another email, adding on to the list of things that they already have to read in classes and other emails that they're receiving. So I think definitely the podcast would be an awesome idea, especially for those students that are like on the bus on the way back home. Another way that we can do that is definitely by increasing the involvement of people in other organizations. That should help communicate those events that are happening. I know with myself and any events that I had going on, last year when I was a cheerleader, I would let my sorority know, my law fraternity know what events were going on. And it's a huge support system for each other, especially as a school.
Ms. Pavlicek, do you have a rebuttal?
I would like to say that I do think attendance at sporting events is very important. It could get us to a bowl game and other things like that. But I don't think that making attendance at games should be our top priority at student government. I don't think that student government should be another cheerleading squad. There's so many things that we can do as senators, and I do think that we should be at the games and support that, but that shouldn't be our main focus as student government.
Ms. Martinez?
Exactly. It's not just another cheer team. That is why I don't hide behind a representative when I have a hearing. I'm actually there in person. I feel like it's important to be there. And in order to know your students, you have to, in order to understand your students and voice your students, you have to know your students. So that's why it's important to support them and to be there at games and to support them at any events that they have. Now, that's not saying that that's the number one priority, but that's definitely a huge priority on campus. We want to stay connected and be a huge family.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next question. So, Ms. Pavlicek, as you mentioned in your Q&A with the University Star, if elected, you would like student government to initiate a registry for students that have CHLs as campus carry goes into effect next fall. So can you give an example of when this registry would be used, how it might help, and how you will follow through with the initiative if met with opposition by the students?
If elected, I plan on meeting with administration and starting this program as soon as I take office. It'll take a little while to get the program going, but as CHL holders have to register with the state, it'll be a similar type program as that, and we'll have it. This will be a confidential program, so students will not be able to look up who is registered. It will just help administration know who is, and it would be a good thing since it is the first time this is happening, so we can have statistics of who is carrying weapons on campus, if we can find out what time of day they're on campus, how many there is. I think since this is a brand new idea and it's never happened before, you can never take too many safety precautions, and registering their CHLs and their weapons would be a great way to keep track of this and keep everyone safe.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Martinez, do you have a rebuttal to that?
Most definitely. I think definitely that we should have a concealed carry, some kind of event registration to help people be educated on how to use these guns, because being that it's a law already passed, and whether you agree with it or not, it will be here. So I think definitely it's important to educate our students. And also, the university has already looked at creating guidelines as far as where these guns will be available and where they're not. For example, children in the daycares that we have on campus, that would not be a great area, or would be any need to have guns there. So definitely emphasizing those guidelines on where they're allowed to be, and educating our students on how to use them, how to properly use them, and where they will be available to have use.
Ms. Pavlicek, do you have anything else to add?
Yes, I agree on that. That is definitely great. The university has been looking in and even taking surveys with the students asking where these safety zones should be, and that is definitely important because, like I said, safety is our top priority. We want all the students to feel safe, and I know guns on campus can make some students feel uneasy about it. And so just being able to make sure that we're regulating people who actually carry a CHL opposed to those who don't is very important.
This question is for both of you, but Ms. Martinez can answer first. Students will have a chance to vote when they vote for student government positions. On the referendum concerning LBJ's center fee, the proposal, if approved, would increase the fee which students pay in their tuition to $100, raising it by $36, $18 in 2016 and 17, and another $18 in 2017 and 18. If approved, the increased fee will go to renovating the student center. What is your stance on the proposed increase in the LBJ fee, and why or why not do you support it?
Well, I definitely support it. We are a growing university going close to 40,000 students, which is awesome because that is creating a bigger name for Texas State University. I personally have a lot of pride for the school, so being that our name is getting out there is phenomenal. Definitely, LBJ is long overdue the size. We are running out of space to have meetings and to have events. We are turning away organizations and from having their events at the ballroom. We only have one ballroom, so definitely increasing the size and having a bigger space for people to be able to have their events there. A lot of the times organizations are having to go down to the embassy or the convention center, and losing that conveniency of being on campus, especially for those freshmen that are already here. I think definitely it's a great thing for the school and university. We are growing, so it only makes sense to continue and growing in space to have those events and functions.
No, thank you. My running mate and I definitely support the LBJ expansion. It is actually one of our initiatives for when this gets going. We don't only want to have the students vote on if it should happen, if they want to pay the increase, but we want to have their input of how they want to change it. Because it is so important. Everyone has meetings in there, and like Samantha said, so many organizations get turned down because we don't have enough room in there. And that's why I feel like we should have the students' input of what types of rooms should be put in there, how many ballrooms there are, and different things with that. The LBJ is the heart of our campus. We have so many things based off the student center, and that is a very important part of our campus. I feel like other universities are very proud of their student center, and with Texas State growing as prestigious as it is, I feel like we should have an awesome student center too.
Okay, thank you. So this question is for both of you as well. I'll go ahead and let Ms. Martinez answer first. So if elected, how will you actively seek student input?
Well, definitely I think it's important to have those surveys. But even though we have had that in the past, I think it's important to look out in different ways of reaching out to our students and getting them to voice their opinion. For one, we would definitely like to have some kind of a question area on the website or something, maybe a separate website for students to easily access and ask us questions. We want the students to be able to feel like they can very comfortably come to us and with whatever questions or concerns that they have. I think definitely the podcast would help with that. The questions option on the website. Definitely more surveys that will be advertised, not just necessarily like in the quad or through email, but using that podcast to voice that. Also, like I said in the beginning, with being involved with other organizations, like this helps get the word out about things and just kind of keeping everyone connected with what's happening on campus. So I think definitely increasing that podcast, that communication that's happening will help get the word out about things.
Thank you. Ms. Pavlicek, if elected, how will you actively seek student input?
I think student input and increasing it starts right now during the campaign. You can't just go into the office and be unheard of and not have a change. During this campaign, my running mate, Anthony, and I have reached out to many organizations, some that we didn't even know of. This was a great time to get to know different organizations that we didn't. I've learned so much about other ones, such as the Electronic Music Association. They just started last year and started out with 3 members, and they've already grown to 50. We definitely want an open doors policy. We want everyone to feel welcome to come into our office and to visit us, but we know the week is busy, and so we do plan on sending weekly emails to see how they are and see what progress they're making, but to also go and visit them, to be hands-on, to help them with something they need or get involved with different functions and programs they throw, because we want it to feel like we're helping them and they're helping us, because we're all Bobcats. So I definitely think it's important to put Bobcats first.
Thank you. Did you have something you wanted to add?
Yes, I do. I think definitely it takes more than just saying that you're going to go out there and support them. It also means that you're actually performing those actions and being there, which goes back to my attendance and being involved with those games. And I think also it would be important to go to those meetings. of those organizations and kind of making them familiar with the student government people that are representing them and making them more comfortable with being able to come to them and voice their opinions. I think actions do go a long way, and it doesn't just take a campaign to just now start reaching out to those organizations. It means actually being involved. Andrew and I have been involved with several organizations, not just, even though we're not members of them, even since the beginning of freshman year, we have stayed in touch with those people and reached out to those organizations, not just waiting till just now, the campaign, to start reaching out to people.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Ms. Pavlicek, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yes, I do think being at games and supporting your Bobcats is very important. I've gone to many myself. I have good friends that are athletes in all sorts of divisions, but I also think it is important, and during those times where we didn't show up, we were campaigning to people who we don't know, because we think it's important not to stay in our same circle, same people all the time. We're reaching out to the people who aren't heard. We want to get everyone's opinion and see what everyone thinks, because all the Bobcats on our campus deserve to be heard. They all have a voice, and we're trying to hear their voice, not the same people who get represented all the time.
Thank you. Ms. Martinez, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, I felt that it's inferred that we just stick to our same circle. Andrew and I are very involved with several organizations, and I would consider us from very diverse backgrounds. We don't just intermingle with the same people. That is why we're involved with several organizations and why we have the many friends that we do. That helps us reach out and meet more people. That's why we go to functions, to leadership opportunities that we have to meet those other people, to make those connections and form relationships with them.
Thank you. Okay, so now we will move into the Twitter questions and the audience questions.
So first, does anyone from our lovely audience have any questions for our lovely candidate? All right, cool. Okay. So the first Twitter question, and whoever you can pick who starts, is what do you have to offer that sets you apart from your opponent? So whoever.
Ms. Pavlicek?
What sets me apart from my opponent is the dedication I know I can put forth. I don't stop until I get the job done. Just right now, being a senator and director of programs, I have spent countless hours at the office or staying up just to get things done. This past semester, I planned a presidential event roundtable, and I'm on my way to planning another one again, and I've already spent countless hours doing it because I'm not going to stop until it's perfection. I want everything to go smoothly, and I want everyone to feel like they were a part of it. And I definitely think that if you put forth the extra effort, then things will come together and you will succeed in whatever you do.
Thank you. And can you repeat the question?
Oh, yes. What sets you apart from your opponent?
I think definitely my involvement, my pride, my passion. I'm very passionate about the school and especially student government. Last year I was a cheerleader for Texas State, and being that I saw the time commitment that it takes, I did not try out this next year because I wanted to dedicate that time to student government. This year has taught me so much. I think what separates me is definitely my work ethic, my motivation, my drive. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm a huge goal setter and a goal reacher. It means so much to me to set goals. I feel like that is my purpose. I started off with freshman council. I moved up to campaigning for senator. That has taught me so much within this past semester, and the 2 pieces of legislation that I've worked on and continue to help other people on their pieces of legislation. Definitely the involvement, the community service. I'm very passionate about San Marcos, about my school. My dad went here, so I especially just feel very prideful about the school. Also, I think definitely just my commitment to student government. This is my number 1. I am very excited every time that I come to a meeting and the opportunity to be able to voice the opinions of my students I care so much about.
Thank you.
I have another Twitter question, and then I have a question. So although Texas State strives hard to be a diverse campus, do you think there are any areas where diversity is an issue or lacking?
Ms. Martinez?
I think diversity is definitely lacking within the idea of Greek life. Being that I am a Greek and a candidate, I would like to voice that we are very open to intermingling. I think there's kind of a separation between like Panhellenic, IFC, and then the other multicultural. I think that we should all come together. Going back to my being one big family, I think that definitely we should all support each other. There's no separation there. I think that people need to understand what Greeks stand for. I think there's a lot of stereotypes out there, and I would like to show the university why we are the organization that we are, what our purpose is, and we're not just the stereotypes that everyone believes us to be. So I think that definitely there's a diversity distinction there, and maybe people need to understand that it shouldn't be that way, and that I guess the stereotypes don't necessarily exist like a lot of people think they do.
Thank you. Ms. Pavlicek? Your question, please.
Although Texas State strives hard to be a diverse campus, do you think there are any areas where diversity is an issue or lacking?
I think Texas State does a great job in supporting diversity of the culture. Anything I've done or anywhere I go on campus, you always see a diverse crowd. There are so many people and everyone is very welcoming. I feel like everywhere I go, everyone is friendly and no one feels like they can't talk to each other because they're from a different background. Texas State likes to honor the people who are diverse and make them feel special and proud, just like they should be. Like I said, everyone deserves to have their voice heard, especially the diverse population.
Thank you.
Okay, I actually have a question. So in years past, during election season, whenever we get the results of how many people from the student body voted in the student government election, it always is like a really small number, like 2%, 3.3%, I think it was last year in 2014. And like, as you can see, like almost 40,000 people go to our school, and like, you know, like, it's like, this is always so sad, right? Because like, I really want people to come. But so how do you guys plan to increase, you know, attendance in voting and attendance in like student government and getting people to really care about your organization?
Ms. Pavlicek?
I think a way to increase it is spreading the word. Not many people know about student government or elections, and definitely in our campaign, that's what we've been doing. We just didn't reach out to our friends in the Greek community. We also reached out to the people who aren't being heard. Although we do support the Greek community, we've been reaching out to them too. We also reach out to other organizations, like I said. It's getting everyone involved and making everyone feel comfortable being involved. So I definitely think that getting in contact with everyone on campus who you can, if it's sending emails, going to visit them, asking them to meet you for coffee, have a group setting, group study, any way to interact with different Bobcats to get them aware of what's going on and have them support other Bobcats is a great way to have everyone come together, unite, and that'll increase attendance because they will be so proud of their university that they will want to support their Bobcats.
Thank you. Ms. Martinez?
Well, I think definitely it's everyone's intention to get the word out, just as in years past every campaign has been. But I think that it starts with, like I said, those relationships that you do have and continuing to reach out, and not just reach out for that purpose, but solely supporting them and what they're trying to get out. It's a give and take thing. I think definitely it starts with just forming those relationships and supporting them, and not just asking for their support, but going to their events and their functions that they have. I think also by getting the word out starts with the organization. So definitely going to their meetings and letting people see your face and know who you are, not just necessarily a quick hi and bye or like a message thing. I think it's definitely showing them who you are and what you represent, and it starts with an organization as a whole. And so I hope that I can help spread the word by that, and what it takes to get the word out about elections and what it takes and what is actually involved.
Thank you.
Does anyone in the audience have any other questions? I'm the only one.
I'll ask a question.
Okay, go ahead.
You guys have both talked a lot about helping people in organizations, but how do you intend on helping or getting voices heard of people that aren't affiliated with a specific organization? Those people that like fall between the cracks.
Ms. Martinez?
Definitely with the podcast idea, that is something that every student would have access to. I think that it's important that every student does get involved. And for those that don't get involved, we plan on having events such as the freshman tailgate, and including all organizations to go out there and recruit. As it is, several Greeks and other organizations already are recruiting for their organizations. So this would give those students that aren't involved with anything an opportunity to be informed about those other organizations that are on campus and the events that are happening. So I think definitely looking for a way that will help every student be informed on everything that is on campus, all the organizations. We already have the events like at the ballroom that takes place the organization fairs that we have. So definitely getting the word out about that to all the students, and maybe going into classrooms to those students who aren't involved, and just kind of asking from those professors to take a moment to just advertise what's happening on campus.
Thank you. Ms. Pavlicek?
I think student government needs to find creative ways, such as throwing these events to having people come, sending emails, reaching out to people, going out on the quad, and not just giving them a piece of information or a survey to fill out, but actually getting to know their peers and getting to know the students around us. I think having an open door policy and making people feel welcome and know that they can come in and talk to us, and we want to help them, we want to join what they're doing and support them any way we can is important. I think knowing that we're friendly people just like they are, and we're students just like them, and having us be contactable and sociable and friendly down with them, and not feel like we're way above them, because we're not. We're students just like them, and we want to be friends with them and contact everyone to make them feel like they can reach out to us and get awareness out there for anything they need.
Thank you. Did you have something you wanted to add?
I think definitely it starts with actions. An open door policy, yes, for all of our students, but I think most definitely we need to start with moving away from what is not working. Emails are sent out all the time, and students aren't being informed of the games that are happening and any lectures or leadership events that are happening. So I think it's important to move on to what is working and come up with a solution, which would be informing students by going into those classrooms, by holding bigger events, getting the word out through podcasts, and looking for different options of what works versus what doesn't work and what hasn't worked.
Ms. Pavlicek?
Samantha is right. It does start with actions. And, since 2008, all of the presidential and vice presidential candidates have ran on that same platform to increase attendance at games. And yeah, there's been spikes in the games, but it hasn't stayed consistent. And consistency is what we're looking for. We want our Bobcats to feel proud to be at this university. Anthony and I have a different outlook of this platform and how we're going to take on our campaign and our office if we get elected. That is different from the years past. And that's how I know it's going to be different. And we're not just going to have these spikes in attendance.
Thank you. Ms. Martinez?
I completely agree with the actions. Yes, in the past, the candidates may have had the same platform, but I think that is why Andrew and I are so excited to be running, because I feel like this is our opportunity, our chance. Like I said, with me being such a big goal setter and a goal reacher, that is my biggest plan for the school. I think definitely it's a huge thing going back to being one big family under one big umbrella, and it falls back on just the representation of the school and how other people view it. So I think definitely just that involvement and just reaching out to our students would definitely help better the university and the reputation that we're giving to other schools.
Thank you. Okay, so now we will open the time for closing statements. So you will each have 2 minutes for those. So Ms. Pavlicek, you can go first.
I think actions do speak a lot. It is actually what is going to happen during office. Anthony and I aren't only going to pass legislation, but we're going to take the time to meet up with administration, to meet up with the different departments, to make sure it follows through. Lately, we have pieces of legislation that passes and it just sits on someone's desk. Nothing happens, and no one else has been making sure that something has been following through. This next year, what we want to do is not only have it follow through, but go to the students and get more direct answers or comments that they have to see what they want to change about our university, because it's their university too, and we need to be hearing their opinions, not just ours. So this coming year, we want to put Bobcats first.
Thank you. Ms. Martinez?
I would first like to thank all of you for coming out tonight. It is a huge thing to have your support here and to be able to hear what the candidates have to say. So I really do appreciate all of you coming out. I would like to say that I hope everyone understands and knows what Andrew and I stand for in our platform and our goals for this year. We have big plans for the university. I know that this year with student government and the transitions that we've had, some people have resigned. So it is definitely our goal to start with senators and members of student government and keep them through the entire semester, the entire year, however long their term is. And I think a lot of the times that is why legislation ends up sitting there and doesn't get taken to the next step, because there's so many transitions. So I think it starts with us keeping those members that we have initially started with, and that forms a better bond of our organization. And it starts with just having a tight-knit organization within student government, and then on an even bigger scale with the university. So I think definitely voicing the opinions of our students. We're looking for the better interests of you all. I have a lot of pride, along with Andrew, my running partner, for the school, and we're very passionate about what we do. We're always looking for bigger and better opportunities for the school and creating a better reputation of Texas State University.
Thank you guys so much.